Welcome to 123stitch.com. My name is Leslie. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be talking all about the different types of quilting fabrics. What is the best choice for different projects? Where do these fabrics originally come from? How different are they today? And what exactly is the deal with batik fabrics and why do so many people not like them? Today, we're going to talk about all of that and more. If you like this video, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this from our channel. Now let's start from the beginning. For thousands of years, there were mainly only the four types of natural fibers: flax, cotton, silk, and wool. We have evidence of woolen textiles dating all the way back to 6000 BC in southern Turkey. As people bred sheep for meat, its wool got more and more useful, eventually becoming good enough to be threaded into textiles. By 3000 BC, there were over 40 different breeds of sheep, producing more than 200 different types of wool. Linen dates back to around 5000 BC. We have evidence of the people of ancient Egypt that would spin or slice wild flax into yarn. They would use this linen to create clothing. We have examples of Egyptian wall art depicting pharaohs wearing linen dresses and shirts. Then, between 5000 and 3000 BC, cotton started showing up. We have historical evidence of the people of ancient China, India, Egypt, and Pakistan weaving, spinning, and dyeing cotton to make clothing. Silk started being woven in China around 2700 BC. It's made of the two threads joined together to form the cocoon of silkworms. However, it could only be produced in East Asia due to the silkworm's very specific diet of the time. From 2500 to around 1200 BC, textiles were being produced all over the world. India, Pakistan, and Central Europe were spinning wool and cotton fibers into yarn by hand using a stick and bowl method, and then of course later on the loom. Meanwhile, China was weaving silks into fine brocades and damask fabrics. Silk had also started being produced in Persia, Syria, and Japan. By 400 BC, India started growing cotton on an even larger scale. Records show that growers were planting out cotton fields, and we have carvings depicting cotton rolling machines, which were used to remove the seeds from the fibers, which allowed them to produce cotton on a greater scale than other places. Later on, in 114 BC, during the Han Dynasty, the Silk Road came into existence, which is very famous, of course, as a set of trails and paths going from Asia to Europe to help basically trade silk to other nations and countries. In 700 AD, we have records of Native Americans here in North America growing and weaving their own cotton fibers into textiles. Then later on, during the Middle Ages, woolen outer garments became popular across Europe. Worn over linen underclothing, the wool would provide with a warm, thick outer layer. Then came the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. This made the creation, distribution, and availability of textiles go through a very large change. Fabrics that were previously made by hand were now being produced in mass quantities in factories. Prior to this, wool, linen, and cotton produced in Great Britain were primarily being made in small workshops or even individual homes by spinners, weavers, and dyers. However, with the inventions of the spinning jenny, the flying shuttle, the water frame, and the power loom, producing cloth became faster and more efficient, requiring less human labor. Then, in 1793, the English immigrant Samuel Slater opened a textile mill in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. This was the beginning of industrialization here in the United States. He proceeded to build other cotton mills in New England and eventually became known as the father of the American Industrial Revolution. Then, finally, we arrive at the 1900s, which is when man-made synthetic fibers started to show up. In 1908, the Cohn brothers became the largest denim manufacturer in the United States. Then they started producing rayon commercially in the US in 1910. The DuPont company developed nylon in 1938. Then they developed the acrylic fiber in 1950. Polyester was developed in 1952 and then combined with cotton to create more durable fabrics. In 1959, spandex was developed, the lightweight, flexible synthetic fabric that we know today. Compared to the very long history of natural textiles, the use of synthetic fibers is still relatively new. Now, don't even get me started on the dyeing and printing of fabrics, or else we really will be here all day, so I'll save that for a later video. Although the fabrics we know and use today are processed differently than they were in the early centuries of human history, how amazing is it that the cotton we use today to create quilts has its origin thousands of years ago? Now let's talk about the quilting fabrics of today. What are the most popular fabrics and what is the right choice for your next project? One of the biggest things to consider when picking out your fabric is what is the weight of it. Is it light, medium, or heavy? The weight of your quilting fabric will affect the overall draping and look of how the quilt is going to come out. You should also consider, what is your quilt going to be used for? Is this your everyday bed covering, a wall hanging, or more of a thick winter kind of quilt? That is also going to affect which fabric you want to choose. Now, the traditional and arguably most popular choice is quilter's cotton. This is a 100% mid-weight woven fabric that is most commonly used because of its durability, ease of use, and its wide range of colors and print options. It typically holds its shape pretty well, and it gives a really good amount of stretch. A lot of quilters choose this fabric because of its breathability and softness. It's pretty easy to use, and it doesn't usually shrink or stretch very much whenever you go to wash it. This makes it an ideal fabric choice for anything that's going to be used every day or something that might potentially get worn down over time. It also comes from a wide variety of manufacturers, meaning there's a whole host of different colors and prints that you can choose from. So I have two examples here of 100% cotton fabric in some very fun patterns and colors. So this one we have here is Unruly Nature by Jen Hewitt, which was made for Moda, and it is a 100% cotton fabric. Similar to this one was made by Camilla Roskelley for her Lighthearted collection. It's this beautiful green floral. Again, this is a 100% cotton fabric. Now within cotton fabrics, there is unbleached cotton. Now, conventionally, when cotton is processed, it goes through a chemical process with whitening agents. This helps to give it a brighter, whiter look. However, unbleached cotton does not go through this process. This leaves it with its more natural color tone, which is a little bit more yellowy, and sometimes it can even have some impurities in it. This process of unbleached cotton is considered more environmentally friendly, and there's even some designers that specialize in it. Now, you can also get organic cotton, which is grown using a process that minimizes the use of harmful chemicals and synthetic fertilizers. This fabric can be considered hypoallergenic and safe for sensitive skin, which makes it a great option for use in projects such as clothing or certain bed coverings. Whenever you're shopping for organic cotton fabric, be sure that you're looking for certain trade certifications to ensure that you're actually buying organic cotton fabric. Now, two other fabric types that are also made out of cotton are flannel and denim. That can be really good options depending on what kind of project you're making. Now, flannel is a cotton fabric that is brushed. It is very soft and cozy. It's great for projects that need just a little bit more warmth. So think winter pajamas or a softer quilt. However, this fabric can pill and it wears out a little bit more quickly than other cotton fabric types. Now here I have two examples of flannel fabrics. These are both from Primitive Gatherings, and it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but these are definitely a much thicker, softer fabric. So like I said, it's a really great option if you want to make a blanket that's extra warm and cozy. So flannel can be a great option as well. Now, denim, which is also made of cotton, is a stronger, more durable fabric. It is pretty heavyweight, so you'll want to take that into consideration. It can also be a little bit more difficult to sew through on an average sewing machine, so just be sure that you're ready if you want to use denim in your next project. Polyester is a synthetic fabric that is also a great choice for quilting, especially if it's mixed with cotton. Now, by itself, polyester is an incredibly durable fabric. It is resistant to mildew and stains, which can make it a great choice for an everyday bedding project. However, it's not quite as soft as cotton, and it doesn't really have that natural hand feel to it. Polycotton blends, on the other hand, give you the best of both worlds. You have the naturalness of the cotton fiber as well as the softness, but you have the more durability of the polyester. Now, the last two fabrics that I want to talk about are linen and batiks. Now, linen is a traditional hand-woven fabric that is made from flax. It can be a great option to make a beautiful, lightweight quilt. It is recommended that you pre-wash your linen before quilting because it can shrink some, and it is considered to be a more delicate fabric than something like cotton. I've heard that linen can unravel and that you want to use a more steady needle and you want to serge it prior to use. Now let's talk about batiks, one of the most divisive fabrics in the quilting community. Some quilters really enjoy using batiks and others very much dislike it. Now, batik is a 100% cotton fabric, but it goes through a very special kind of dyeing process, which sets it apart from your regular cotton fabrics. Now, compared to quilting cotton, batik fabrics have a tighter weave and a heavier hand feel. There's also a potential for color bleeding. During the dyeing process, batik fabrics have a special kind of molten wax applied to them. Then it's boiled off with hot water. This creates a very unique tie-dye-esque kind of design. It is recommended that you pre-wash your batik fabrics to help prevent color from bleeding onto your completed quilt. Here I have two examples of batik fabrics. Now, these are both made of 100% cotton, but they did go through that special dyeing process. So as you can see, there's a little bit of that color variation here. This one is definitely a little bit more of a tie-dye. Usually, you wouldn't want to mix batik fabrics with something like this, which is 100% quilter's cotton. Because these two have very different weaves and weights to them, you usually don't want to use them in the same project unless you are a far more advanced quilter. It is recommended that you stick with either something like 100% cotton, batik fabrics, or flannel. Special mention to wool fabrics. Now, 100% wool is not usually used for a quilting project. However, it can be a great way to add some fun applique or unique embellishments to your quilt. Thank you so much for watching this video today as I took you through the history of fabrics all the way to what fabrics are in use today. Make sure to comment down below if you are for or against using batik fabrics, and what is your favorite fabric to use in your quilting projects. Bye!